This is how to install the smartphone pen test framework on Kali. So we just need to git clone the GitHub repo, so github.com/georgew/smartphone-pentest-framework.git. Let it pull that down, and this will take a minute for it to clone the entire repo. And then if we change directories into smartphone pen test framework, there it all is. There is a Kali install file that we can run that will install anything that's not already there. And so it's pulling down like Android versions, so it pulls down all the versions you need to build anything in the command line with SPF. It pulls down like ant. It makes sure you have MySQL and Apache, which Kali already does, so it just turns them on. And it creates the database for the first time as well. So right now it's installing Android SDK. Kali already has Android on it, but it doesn't have all of the SDKs we need. It pulls down basically the earliest version. Well, it's the 4th version, but it pulls down Android 1.6 to build the agents, so they'll run on anything, basically G1 or later, so it can run on anything. So it pulls down a really old version for building agents. And then it makes sure the database and web server are started. So the last thing we need to do is change directories to framework console. We have the config file. So if we nano config, well, first, the only thing we need to change in here is the IP address. So 192.168.20.9 in my case. If you have SPF in root smartphone pentest framework and framework console and so on and so forth, the rest of your config file should line up. You can look and change any options you want to, of course. We've got like where's the web server, but it's all the config file that's the default is basically set up already for Kali. So the only thing we're going to need to change is this IP address value, as well as we can have a different one to listen for incoming shells. We'll just set them both to 20.9. So that's the only thing you should have to set up. We just have MySQL server with the defaults, and the paths are all set to root smartphone pentest framework and so on and so forth. And then the location of the Android SDK is the default for Kali as well, so you shouldn't have to change anything except those IPs in Kali, since the config I give you is set up for Kali, since that's where I use it. And then we can just say framework.py, and that'll start up SPF and we can start to use it.